えてやろう、極限の拳を。ご苦労だった。
Sleep well.
ご苦労だった。
はい。
貴様らのような出来損ないとは違うのだ。この俺は。Come on. よく来てくれた。
我はオロチ。
教えてやろう、極限の拳を。
Sleep well.
Oh, I hate leveling up stuff in this game. I wish it would just automatically do it. Just open the boxes and give me the damn things. It's really annoying how they want you to just keep doing this. They should just give you an option to just boom. Open the boxes and just give me the stupid cores so I can play and not sit through 10,000 menus. Really kills the pacing. Having to do the cards and stuff every time. That's probably the worst aspect of the pacing in this game. It gets annoying. There's no reason why you should have an option to just open the cores, the core boxes, and just give you exactly what you need. So you can actually play the game and not do menial tasks like this. It's really irritating. Okay, can I play the video game now? Gotta get all our stuff.
Sleep well.
Oh, no, of course, now it wants that. Now it wants that. How many of those do I need? Need like 30 of them. Probably just go this far.
ご苦労だった。
Alright, I think everybody's good to go. I think I can actually play the video game now. Alright, let's try these bad boys out. I haven't even gone into gameplay with them yet.
極限の拳を
Oh, it took like 5 minutes to get into gameplay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well worth the $0 I spent on him. Actually, no, I spent $10 to get him. I don't understand the point of this. Give you a shit character. No cards, no cooldown reduction. Weird flex. What was the point of that? Funny if they actually let you use your character there and kill it in like 2 hits. New trailer for DLC, huh? Can you describe what's in that tweet? Because I can't check right now, obviously. I think I'm mostly gonna play old games tonight. Either that or I might play some more Judgment. Kind of leaning towards that. Because I can't really do much with these characters until they get awakened, and I don't have the cash to buy the package right now. When I get paid on the 1st, I probably will, because I don't think there's much else really happening next month for me. I don't think anything's really coming out in May that I know of. Oh.
ご苦労だった。
I can't think of any May releases I care about. I might be missing something, but nothing with a concrete release date. Definitely a dry period right now. Reppuken. Double Reppuken. Rival Reppuken. So the only thing really worth getting in here is the imprint stones for the boss syndrome characters. But it's not a selector, it's a mystery one, so I want to see what this one is. I don't think they care about when they release it. I don't really think it matters. And to keep in mind, that game sold like a trillion times more than they expected. The premium priced beat 'em up in 2020. They were not expecting it to do as well as it did, but it came out right around the time of the pandemic, and it had online play. It looks nice. The music is good. You're kind of in the right place at the right time. Like a lot of the other games that did way better than they thought. Like, what is that game called? Valheim? Among Us? All those games. Dude, don't make me break this damn car again. You gotta be shitting me, man. I wonder if they put this in here to, like, intentionally slow people down. Because generally the strategy with these rush events is you just put everybody in your team that can basically one-shot everything. Like, you're really busted-ass character, and then everybody else, you put in the characters that give you the buffs. And I think they put this in there to, like, slow it down. Which is stupid because there's, like, no reason why you can't skip this. Seems like with this game, they really want you to drain your stamina. But it's like, logistically, there's no reason why you can't just use skip tickets here. I feel like after you've cleared it once, like, the other content in the game, they should just let you skip it. Because all it amounts to is basically just body. The last rush event, I left my phone on overnight. A lot of people do it on emulators too, but last I checked, the emulators still really suck at running this game. They crash pretty frequently. That's generally what a lot of people do, though. They, if they need their phone for more important things, they just leave the emulator on at night. I did that back when this came out, but this game was less prone to crashing at that time. Now it crashes like all the time on the emulator. That's fucking cool, man. Not a fan of how 2/3 of his moveset is grabs. But people are saying that doesn't make him terrible somehow. I don't know how. Generally, grabs are awful in this game. Only good for content like this where you're actually fighting enemies that stagger. Everything else, they're horrible. Either the animation doesn't play out or the raid boss just walks out of it. Typical beat 'em up problems. It's like Dungeon Fighter Online. DFO. Get the grab cannon animations, but then the animations are like a fourth of the length of the ones that actually are intended. So you end up running through your moves way too quickly. How close am I to pity? I can probably get at least one memory, huh? If I bought that package, I could get pity. And then probably awaken Geese over Chrysalid because Geese has that busted. And probably awaken Geese over Chrysalid because Geese has that busted ass leader ability. People are saying Chrysalid's supposed to be better. I don't see how, but I don't have him at a capability of doing any endgame content right now, so I'm gonna have to take people's words for it. I'll probably cash on this when I get paid. I can't think of anything coming out next month I'm really interested in. Some of the indie games might get released. 97 in Bakersfield tomorrow. Guess what I'm not doing? Not going anywhere. Going to my neighbor's house and home. That's it. Fuck that, man. Summer starting early, although spring and summer in California are like basically the same thing. Same thing with a different name. It's like a palette swap. Clone moveset. We have like winter, and summer. Those are like the only 2 seasons in California. It's like a couple months where it's somewhat uncomfortably cold, especially at night, and then every other part of the year is just perpetual summer.
Marvelous entertainment.
It's a blessing and curse of living in California. We don't have to deal with like rain and snow and stuff, but it's always a fucking oven outside. Hey. Grabs are terrible in this game. This doesn't really play like a traditional beat 'em up. You have things like air combos and stuff, but it's not like your average beat 'em up where you want to use like grabs to control the enemies and get precious invincibility frames. It's more about just getting things in the corner, using your super joy, and then chaining that into super. It's a lot more effective in this game. I don't even think grabs give you any invincibility in this game. They barely work. It's kind of the appeal of this game, though. It's not just trying to copy what Capcom is doing. It's got its own unique feel to it, even if it's not like the most polished and deep beat 'em up out there. You have to remember the time this came out. There were like no beat 'em ups coming out at the time. There was like Castle Crashers and a couple others. I would definitely play this over Castle Crashers. It's got more going on, more mechanics. Okay, this character is trash. This character is really bad. The problem with this character is Super Joy doesn't chain into Super. Which is huge in this game. It's one of your only ways of really controlling the enemies. I wonder if she can cancel it early. Hitbox is decent. wanted you stop right there. Streets of Rage 4 did really well. Way better than they were expecting, which is why it's getting DLC. They were probably only expecting to like break even with that game. It's a question of, do people still want to play these kinds of games? Because the average audience for a beat 'em up is like my age or older. I'm 35, so I grew up with these kinds of games, and that's why I still enjoy them. I grew up in the arcade, so anything with arcade quality of design will interest me. There's always the question of, are other people going to be interested in that? The answer is yes. To make a good beat 'em up, people will play it. It's just it needs to be visually appealing to the average person. It needs to have online. A lot of the problem is a lot of these games don't have online, which was a deal breaker before the pandemic. There are lots of beat 'em ups that come out like Fighting Rage. It's one of the biggest complaints about that game. There's no net play. People don't seem to realize it was made by one person. Like I bought Battle Axe today. And that game is like half an hour long. There's no unlockables whatsoever. It's just a straight arcade run, and that's it. And it's also a forced 1cc, which I think is poor design. It's not good to try to make an arcade.
Marvelous entertainment.
It's not good to make an arcade-oriented game in 2021, and then force people to 1cc. I think they did that because the game has no content. There's no unlockables. I haven't finished it yet. I got to the last level and then it kind of died. It's also a problem of forcing you to destroy these towers to progress. And on the first couple times you play, it's not always clear where to go. It's not worth $30. I can tell you that much. $30 for that game is a joke. You could get Fight and Rage, which isn't the same type of game, but it's the same kind of genre, an arcade-based game. Designed for people who really like arcade games and stuff. You can get that, and there's like exponentially more content for much cheaper. I think the pricing is what's going to kill that game the most. If they had charged like $15 for it, it wouldn't be getting such polarizing reviews. It's not a bad game at all. It looks beautiful. The music is great. The character is pretty responsive. It's just some aspects of the enemies, they feel unfair. The pacing is all over the place. If you don't see one of the switches, you could be wandering around forever. Forced 1cc's too. There's no extends. It feels like half of an arcade game. It doesn't have the replayability that an arcade game would. There's not that many assets. There's only 4 levels. And people are saying that they beat the game on hard mode with their kids in like 45 minutes. It's definitely a sale price game. It's not a full price game. If you want something that plays like the arcade, there's much better choices for cheaper. You could get a lot more out of. You have Streets of Rage 4, you have Fight and Rage, Ninja Warriors once again. You've got Chronicles of Mystara. A lot of the other really good arcade-oriented games that have come out recently are much better choices. I'll play it long enough to beat it, but it really doesn't have any replay value. There's like an infinite mode, but there's no like unlockables or anything, so it's just the same thing but harder. There's definitely some unfair attacks in the game too. Some enemies will attack you before you can even see them. I feel like they knew that they didn't have they didn't have enough for like a full priced game, but they priced it that way anyway, which is a little bit baffling. When you can get like Borderlands 3 for like $20, expecting people to pay $30 for an arcade game you can beat in half an hour with no replay value outside of stuff that the average person doesn't care about, like score, is really pushing it. The scoring system is pretty cool, actually. It's just there's no extends for one thing, and the game is already a forced 1cc, so that kills a lot of the replay value too. It doesn't have the replay value that you would expect from a modern arcade game. I feel like that game will do the arcade-oriented thing way better. Battle Axe completely misses the mark. That's the thing that sucks about indie games when AAA games are giving themselves away for like $10. You make something like Battle Axe, which obviously had a lot of work and time put into it, but it just doesn't have the value that other games do have. It's a really hard sell for a lot of people, which is understandable. As an industry, it's all a race to the bottom now. It's all like, what's the cheapest you can put your game at and still make money? It's at the point where it's like not even really worth buying a game at full price unless you're absolutely positive you're going to play it right away. If you're just going to backlog it, it's not even worth buying. So, oh, hi groupie, you okay? Where'd you come from? Hi. Come on. Groupie just came in. It's a forced 1cc and it's like half an hour to 45 minutes. I feel like they did that to pad out the game because it does not have the amount of content you'd expect from an arcade game. Well, I'm just going to try to get my review for it out tonight, but I haven't been able to finish it yet. I've still got a ways to go. Hey, groupie. You okay? I didn't mean to step on your foot. You came out of nowhere. You okay? Come on. You okay? What's wrong? Groupie. There you go. Yeah, you're fine. Sorry. He's like a ninja. That's the thing, if they had actually made it into a roguelike, I think it would have had more replay value. The problem with forcing a 1cc in an arcade game is it ensures that people are going to run out of things to do. One of the appeal of arcade games, at least good ones, there were a lot of shitty arcade games you couldn't 1cc, is getting good enough at them at the point where you didn't need a credit feed. I don't have that many non-fighting game 1cc's. Probably like 90% of my 1cc's are like fighting games. But it's satisfying to get one. And when you force it, you really rob people of that satisfaction. Because it just becomes beating the game at that point. The game is completely devoid of replay value too. There's an infinite mode in New Game Plus, but there's like no new items or unlockables. So you're just doing the same thing, randomized. The game does not have enough enemy and asset variety to really warrant doing something like that. That's kind of the issue. You know, if they had like a randomizer for Streets of Rage 4 or something, like that game's got enough, it has enough enemy variety. where that kind of thing could work. Yeah, I don't recommend that game at $30. It's probably going to be $15 in like 3 months. That's more of a reasonable price for that game. If you just want a modern arcade game, you've got much better choices for cheaper that have more content and more replay value. I think the fact that they went all in with like some of the best pixel art ever in modern years kind of wrote themselves into a corner, because due to how good the pixel art is, they can't like easily churn out an update like, say, the people who did 20XX. You know, one of the things they did with that game was they had the flash animation, which was ugly, yes, but it allowed them to churn out content really fast. 30XX has that same problem too, actually. They're doing really good pixel art now, so they can't churn out an update in like a few weeks. I mean, they pretty much even admitted that they doubled the roster of 20XX because, you know, they were working with skeletal animation. They just had to draw the art and then just kind of move it around. You don't have that luxury when you're doing like the best pixel art ever on par with like Metal Slug. The pixel art is very good. It's a very good looking game, but I feel like in other aspects it really falls flat. You could do a lot better in that price range. Fight and Rage is like $10 cheaper base price and is almost always on sale. And you get a lot more for your money with that game. Very similar kind of game, old-timey arcade-oriented stuff, but there's a lot more to unlock. You have the alternate paths, you have 3 very diverse characters. You could probably beat it in that time and refund it. I hate to say that because a lot of work went into that game, but it feels like they were kind of tone deaf on like what needs to be done to sell a game like that in the modern era. I actually feel really dirty suggesting that, but if you really wanted to, you probably could. It's weird because, like, with the assets they have and the fact that they had an infinite mode, they probably could have made like a roguelike mode and made like a couple more pixel art assets, and it probably would have been enough. It's got the foundation to be a pretty decent roguelike, but there's lots of really obtuse things about the game, like the fact that there's only like eight items in the game, and they don't tell you what any of them do. Now, granted, unless you have the brain the size of a peanut, it's going to be pretty obvious what most things do, but there are some that are very obtuse. I spent a lot of my coins from the first level on something that was basically just a Mega Crash type thing. and it's far more useful to get the upgrades. They don't tell you what any of that stuff does. There's no text, barely any text in the game at all. Things like that is where it feels like it's really lacking in polish. You know, I'm an old fart. I'm used to playing games that don't give you 30 hours of tutorials. I definitely prefer that, but you know, when your game doesn't have that much content to begin with, you kind of have to ease people into what's there. Don't force a 1cc for one thing. Because the average person does not have the patience for that shit. But in that game, it's like you 1cc it and there's no satisfaction because you can't credit feed. But I feel like that was a decision made to make it harder to get through the game faster. Which is ironically is something they did with real arcade games. They'd make them balls hard so that you had to spend money on them. Or they'd make games too hard so that you couldn't beat them on a rental. But with that, it's like, I don't know, forcing it just doesn't really work for me. That's the same problem I had with Final Fight LNS Ultimate. Forcing a 1cc takes all the satisfaction out of it. It's better to just let people credit feed, learn how to play at their own pace, instead of force everybody to be a Chad and 1cc it. I feel like credit feeding is something that developers of modern arcade games really hate, and it's actually a good thing. Especially since there's, you know, the game's not actually being played in an arcade. It's better to let people ease into that mentality. The small dicks are out to play. Yep, the Small Dick Association. We have a lot of people in our area that make a bunch of noise with dirt bikes and stuff. They think that people care, and it's like, no one really cares, obviously. Yeah, credit feeding is not an inherently bad thing. Because in a way, it like indirectly reinforces replay value, even if there's not any actually there. If you can't be bothered to put it on lockables. But the problem with Battle Axe is I was playing stuff on the Dreamcast 20 years ago that were basically just straight arcade ports, but they went the extra mile and they had a fuck ton of single-player content. You know, they realized that just having an arcade mode and versus, even back then, was not enough to get somebody to play an arcade game. You needed more than that, and I feel that's what Battle Axe is really missing. And it's kind of stuff that we figured out ages ago. You know, Namco was well known for putting a fuck ton of single-player content in their games, their arcade ports, because they knew that people weren't going to cough up $50 for arcade mode and versus. You had to be like already heavily invested into the game, and by that I mean like either play it at the arcades competitively or you have a local competitive scene. You know, if that was what you were into, then just having arcade and versus was fine, but you know, that's such a small percentile of the people that play fighting games. NRS games play like shit and they look ugly as sin, but those guys understand what you need to do to make a fighting game successful to the average casual person who's not really into mastering touch of death combos and memorizing bread and butters and stuff. You know, they have rollback netcode, they have really good single player content with like story modes and gear and shit. You know, you can cough up full price for those games and never step online, never play competitively, and still get your money's worth. That's what I appreciate about those games, even though I don't like playing them. I don't like watching them either. Like those guys get it. That's why they're so successful. You know, their games are janky and ugly to look at. I mean, that was one of the biggest problems with Street Fighter V, is they didn't have the story mode. They had like no single player content. You were forced online with shit netcode and people rage quitting with no penalties, and they were charging full price for the game. I feel like people would have been more accepting of the shit netcode if they could at least play it offline without needing another person. That's the thing about NRS games, that the fact that they have rollback netcode is like icing on the cake. They could have like standard Japanese AAA fighting game netcode, you know, have it be like barely functional, but because they have so many other things to do in the game that don't revolve around being a competitive Chad, you know, the game still works. I like both personally. I do like. I have played a lot of fighting games competitively. I never really bothered with tournaments and stuff, but you know, I'm pretty decent at fighting games. I did play in the local meetups and stuff, but I like the single player content too, especially when the online is terrible. That's the problem with Samurai Showdown. They keep adding like really awesome characters. They have freaking Hibiki from Last Blade in there, but the netcode sucks, so it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter who they add, and the game has no single player content either, so that's the problem with Japan's fighting game output. You know, Injustice is probably dead online right now, but it's got that cool gear system and shit, so you can still get your money's worth out of that game without ever stepping online and requiring other people to play with. I feel like the Japanese developers really missed the mark on that kind of thing. Like, I like Abyss Mode and Blaze Blue. Blaze Blue has horrendous netcode. The last time I played Blaze Blue competitively was when I had access to an arcade. I have not touched competitive Blaze Blue in, like, eons. But, you know, that game's got the full story mode, it's got the Abyss Mode, it's fun to level up your characters and stuff. I bought that game on the Switch, and I played it a lot because it had single-player content. It doesn't really matter that the netcode's Garbo. You can get by without it. I wish they would stop making me play this robot. Shit gimmick character. Character's ass. Stop making me play as other people. I hate when games do this shit. Guy controls like a fucking From Software character. Painful. Please don't make me play as this robot ever again. Ugh. What, did Kamiya like direct this game or something? Fuck off with this guy. Sucks. Come on, just die. Ugh. Can't even give this guy a run. This hitbox. Oh, this is torture. I wanted to play a slow, fat oaf. I would play Dark Souls or anything from Software. Let me go back to my fast, cool design people. Ugh, how much more? Just die. It's awful to play. I don't want to play as some slow oaf. Be a Dark Souls streamer if I wanted to do that. Oh. Why do video games do this? Let me play as who I want. If you're gonna force me to play as another character, make them at least fun to play, not water torture. Like this fucking fat ass robot. Walk faster. Please end. Never make me play as that robot again. Okay, god, garbage, man. What the hell is that shit? Okay, I can actually play as my characters again. Jeez. That's like the third time they've done that in this game, too. To make you play as some shitty gimmick character. Okay, actual fun to control characters. Come on, skip the cutscene. Well, I can tell you right now, you're not going to get home stream quality from a mid-range phone. There's nothing I can do about that. This is basically just me at my second job, just chilling. Not really aiming for my usual video quality. Are you William Shakespeare, by the way? I recognize the typing style, but I just want to make sure I'm not crazy. Well, I already know I'm crazy, but I figured as much. I recognize the typing style. Probably because this game overheats the phone. That's probably why. Okay, how close am I to that pity? I am, I'm actually one level away from pity. That's all I'm gonna do on this game for now. I'll save the rest. I'm gonna get the pity on the next after this level, so that's a good stopping point. I really like the character designs in this game. There's a distinct lack of lollies. There's only a few. It's not like most of these games where it's 99% lollies. Can't stand those gremlins. Yeah, this phone has very bad heat throttling. The CPU slows down to like a crawl if I play a game like this for more than half an hour. If I just play like emulators and stuff, like it's completely fine. Same thing if I play like Steam Link or Google Stadia. When I do those kinds of streams, it's not an issue, but when I play stuff like this, it overheats. That's why it's looking like I'm probably going to get the Poco X3 Pro, but I've got to raise the money and do some research first. Probably going to be a little bit more suited for my needs. Alright, let's go ahead and get that pity, and then I think I'll probably play some Boomer games to end the stream. Grab my KOF dailies too. Alright, I've got exactly 500, so yeah, I'm at 38 of 40, so this will do it. I can't use the cash shop, obviously, so I have to get by. Hey, fuck off, Lolly. I don't even know who the hell this is. I don't know any of their names. I looked up the name of the martial arts guy I'm playing. That's basically it. Alright, this one's gonna be an S rank. I probably need to focus on weapons now. I think that's actually one of the new characters. Cool. Alright, so this is a lot like Honkai Impact, where you don't want to use this one anymore once you get the pity. So at this point I need to start getting weapons and stuff. Weapons could be the next thing. Let's check out this new character. Okay, katana wielder. Almost time to eat, kids. The day of reckoning is coming. You hear that, groupie? Almost time to eat, girl. It's coming up. Alright, let's try out this character. Pretty much, it's about the best I can do right now. The thing that's unique about this game is they don't have the roster bloat. They're gonna eat soon. They can wait. They can wait. Hi, Lucy. The thing that's unique about this game is they don't have roster bloat like a lot of these other games. There's only like, I think, 30 characters. But they all play pretty unique from what I've seen so far. Okay, what can this chick do? Alright, I like the moveset so far. Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, shit. Alright, I approve. Alright, I dig it. Oh, fuck yeah. Dude, this game is raw. Holy shit. Damn. Alright, well that was worth it. Especially for free. I'll take it. Actually, I don't need this one. I'm gonna skip this one. I'll do one round of this. Ready to eat, groupie? They actually do need more of these, so we're gonna do 3 of this one. And then that's gonna be it for Punishing Grey Raven tonight. Probably switch over to KOF, grab my stuff, and then We'll have a little bit more time after that. Time's running short, though. It's almost time to feed the kitties. You're already putting in for the refund? Why is that? You don't like it that much? Yeah, it's fun, don't get me wrong, but the price for that game is, I don't know a nice way to put it. I think the word for it would be delusional. I don't mean to be blunt, but I feel like that's the reality of it. Art style wise, it's not phoned in. It's a very high quality game, but for just like arcade based stuff, that game is very lacking. You can do a lot better than that for cheaper, which is a pretty massive problem, you know. Generally with games like that, you don't have a lot of choices, but we're kind of blessed right now with a lot of really good arcade style games. So we're kind of past the point of settling for less. And I'm pretty disappointed with it too. Yeah, I was really looking forward to that game. I ended up coming out of it disappointing. I might not play that tonight. Actually, I might just finish up. Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC tonight. I might just finish that up tonight. I might just play some Assault Spy. I think I'm just gonna chalk up a loss on Battle Axe. They're gonna have to wait. They're getting fed 20 minutes. Yeah, the music is great. Pixel art too.
Okay, you're gonna feed him, aren't you?
Yes.
Buddy happy. Buddy. Yeah, I was gonna take him back.
They're gonna have to wait at this point. Battle Axe is one of the most disappointing games I've bought recently. Very lacking. And like I said, because of how good the pixel art music is, they can't like crap out an update really fast. They do not have that luxury because of the way they decided to make the game. Yeah, I'm kind of trying this game. I could still refund it. Guys want to see groupie? Here she is. Chilling. Probably partied too hard today. Yeah, she's chilling tonight. Okay, yeah, I know there's a boss coming up, so I'll save that for a video. I'm trying to get this. Still got like an hour before I can refund it. I just get overwhelmed with like open world games like that. There's too much to do. I get really overwhelmed and stressed out. That's why I don't like those kinds of games. They generally have shit gameplay too, which doesn't help. No, I think I'm just going to call it there. I had to feed the cats in a bit. I need to drink something, so I think I'm going to have my stress drink and granola bar, and then combo that into feeding the kitties, and then I'll see if I feel like playing more tonight. Yeah, I'll give it more of a chance, but it's just so slow paced. I wish they'd just make a beat 'em up. Skip all that. Yeah, I'll see you guys later tonight.